Hello, hey, hello, hi, this is Kid. Hi, how you doing?
So, have you ever had an experience where you see something of your past self, a video or a photo or something you've written, and you completely remember the kind of passion and drive and motivation you had at that time? Like, I guess you would come to a realization after a certain length of time in which you don't have that motivation or passion or drive. And I did that recently. I've had a really, really rough year. 2011 wasn't my year, even though it's not over yet. But I went back and I watched the very first Beaver Bunch video that I did. I'm going to put the link for real right down here. And I don't know, man. I was so stoked to be on the channel, and I was so stoked to be able to connect with other people on YouTube that were in my situation or that could take something away from my story or my advice. And I forgot that. In all of the hundreds of videos that we've made, and in the 2 years now, or 3 years, I guess, since I've been making YouTube videos, I forgot the reason that I was here, and I want to remember. So, it was really cool, and I actually came upon doing it because I was just flipping through my subscriptions, and I found a video that was in like the related links to one of the baby beavers, and his name is Ryan, and him and his girlfriend are 17, I guess now, and make videos, about their life or whatever. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them because they reminded me of, why I do this and why I'm here and the kind of people that I want to surround myself with. So, thank you. Alright, this week's topic of the week, what we're talking about is counseling, therapy, if you will. And I think that's awesome. Awesome. Topics lately have been freaking cool because we haven't talked about therapy, I don't think. If we have, prove me wrong. I'll give you a high five in the next video. But I really don't think that we have. And so the question was, like, is therapy a good idea? Let's see. Okay, back on track. So we're talking about therapy, and the person that posted or that asked this question says, I'm 16 years old. I just started a new school 4 days ago. One very big life change. I've been very depressed for a while now. There's no doubt in my mind that I need therapy at this point. I'm not going to go into specifics about why exactly I'm depressed. Compared to some other people in the world, my problems seem petty, but nonetheless, I'm very much unhappy. It's affecting my school, social life, relationships with my parents. It's taking over my life, and I don't know how to fix it. How do I tell my dad that I need therapy? So, there's like 5 billion topics to address in this one question, but it's all relative to therapy. So, my first point is that I'm pro-therapy, pro-counseling. It's a little stupid at first. Like, the very first time I went to counseling, I was a kid, and I think kid counseling is the best because you just get to, like, color and play with games and hang out, and then the therapist, like, assesses you. But when I got older, I had to go to counseling for gender reassignment and hormone therapy and all that jazz. They require, every state's different, but most states require you to do a significant amount of therapy to make sure that you are where you need to be and all that jazz. So when I first started therapy, I thought it was really dumb. And I was like, why am I talking to you? This is really lame. Like, you're not going to be able to understand all of the things that I can't see because you're talking to me. And it's coming from my perspective. Does that make sense? So I didn't think that the therapist could, like, see past my superhero defense mechanisms. But they're pretty shifty, those therapists. So it actually worked out pretty well. But they say that you should go to therapy, or that therapy is best, especially when you have, like, huge major life changes happening. Going to a new school, huge, especially when you're 16. High school is hard enough. having to change schools and being the brand new kid in high school sucks even more. Coming out or having any sort of like gender or sexuality questioning, especially at a really young age, really big deal. Changing jobs, huge deal at any age. Your parents getting divorced, or becoming homeless, or there's like a million different things that happen. Like, life is shitty sometimes, and you're not always strong enough to handle it, and that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. Asking for help is okay. Let's all say it together. Asking for help is okay. It's a hard one to come by, but I want you guys to realize that your problems aren't petty, and whether you're 10 or 16 or 23 or 30 or whatever, your problems aren't petty, and comparing them to someone else's problems is the first problem. You're not going to solve any of your problems by comparing them to someone else's, because your life's different, and you're different, and you want different things. So I think that you should make up your mind that you want to fix the problems in your life, and that they're big enough to you that they're affecting things, because that makes them important. If it's affecting your life, and if you're constantly upset and depressed and you can't do anything about it, then that's significant, and you should know that. You should appreciate that you can realize that. How to go about fixing it? As far as parents are concerned, I completely agree with Lori. I think that most parents have their best interest, have their kids' best interest at heart, and so if you go to them and say, this is where I'm at, these are the things I'm dealing with, I can't really explain them all to you, but I've felt this way for a really long time and I'd like to try therapy. Most parents are going to be over the moon that you even talk to them, because you're a 16-year-old, and 16-year-olds are way too cool to talk to their parents. Duh, like we all are. So they're going to be stoked that you even came to them. But if they're not, if they're a parent that isn't pro-therapy or doesn't, have the best relationship with you, then there are some other options outside of paid therapists. Your school counselor. Your school counselor is like a huge resource that no one knows about it. She's like the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. Like, everyone just kind of sees the rainbow. They don't see the leprechaun. And she's kind of like weird probably, and kind of cheesy, and she's like at every main school event, and you don't really understand why she's there. She's there for you. And take advantage of it, You don't have to just talk about college and where you're headed with your major life plans. Like, she's a counselor. She's licensed. Tell her about your problems, Build a rapport, build a friendship with her. And if you feel comfortable going to her, then she's there. She's a free resource for you. If you're not comfortable with your school counselor, then maybe try an older friend, or someone at the resource center in your area if you have one. I know in Dallas, there's the Gay and Lesbian Resource Center in Dallas does have counseling, and I think it is paid, like you have to pay something, but it's on like a sliding scale depending on what you can pay. So there are resources. There are plenty of Yahoo groups and YouTube video groups, and us, you already know that therapy is a good thing because you're here and you asked a question and you're listening in. So it's not a big bad beast. You really can get to the bottom of it, and I guarantee you that you'll feel instantly relieved just by chipping away at the block. Sometimes being depressed and having huge life issues seems like impossible to conquer, especially on your own. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And like Lori said, depression is not always something you can solve. It's not always situational. I think most of the time depression is exemplified in situational depression, meaning, we all have hard times and that makes us really depressed, but sometimes there's nothing that you can do about it. Sometimes your life is great and you're still depressed and you still feel empty and kind of like things don't connect, and that could be a chemical thing. That could be part of a disorder called clinical depression, and in that case, you should seek medication. You should seek clinical options, because if I don't take my medication every week, I feel crazy. I feel over-emotional. I feel like all these things, because my hormones are out of balance, you know? Like, that's why I'm taking the supplements. So if you're struggling with clinical depression, taking your medication doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. So, think about that. Yeah. Do you like my hoodie? It's new. I like stripes. I'm a fan of all things striped. But it's Friday, and it's 3 in the morning, so I'm gonna go, because tomorrow is my grandmother's 65th birthday. Shh, we're throwing her a surprise party, because she's going through like that end of life crisis, because she thinks her life is over, because she's 65 and she's retiring, and she like doesn't know what to do, you know, because she's no longer like a caretaker or a career woman, so she's kind of like floundering. So we're having a party, a shindig, if you will, and we're inviting all the people that she knows, and it's going to be awesome. I'm super stoked. So, hope you guys have a great weekend, and shoot me a line. Tell me what you think about this video, or about other topics that we've covered, and one you'd like to see on the ballot for next week. See you later, guys. Peace. So, I feel incredibly lame because I'm just now getting into Tumblr. Like, I think it's really cool. I got an app on my phone for it, so I'm like constantly on there checking and whatever. And I feel like I'm getting really old because people post like pictures or whatever, and then underneath it they put the letters GPOY. And I seriously felt like grandpa the other day, because I was like, what the hell is Japoy? Like, what? Like, is that like some slang word, like, that I don't know what it is? Apparently, if you're not big on Tumblr, it means gratuitous picture of yourself. Wah wah. How was I supposed to know? Come on, you guys are supposed to give me hints on these things. So, now I can, like, post pictures of myself and write those letters underneath, because I'm freaking cool like that.